Summer through fall, I hear starry eyes for you. Just give a call and we'd run anywhere with a fuse. Yeah, and you're Mercedes, tell me I'm your dream come true. We threw a fuel on the fire, but it burned out quick. Adored the thought of love, but it never did stay. Don't you think the truth tastes so bittersweet? We're losing all the feeling that we can't hide on the streets. I think we hit the ceiling, babe. Death for you, death for you and me.
Hello, Iron Fighter. Hello. Welcome to League of Legends. The built-in game will take 2 seconds. Random. I like it. Say that. The guys that like talk, like coach, like they are streamer, you know? Welcome back to League of Legends, boys, ladies and gentlemen. I choose you! I don't think they're gonna score. Oh, I choose. Yeah, and I haven't played Jin at all. Maybe once. You should pick. You should pick Zion next one or support.
I was staying up on the west side.
Oh, I would have picked Jane. That I would have smacked them, bro. But like,
I was waiting up on the west side, waiting for your call, but you had someone else in mind. All I had was love for ya, yeah, yeah. All I had was love for ya, yeah, yeah. Was that just enough to get you through? Breaking my heart, I was a fool for you. All I had was love for ya, yeah, yeah. You were playing me the whole time, telling all your lies to both sides. You were playing me the whole time. No one there to break my fall. Blink of an eye and now you're not mine. All I had was love for ya, yeah, yeah. All I had was love for ya, yeah, yeah. Was that just enough to get you through? Breaking my heart, I was a fool for you. All I had was love for ya, yeah, yeah.
Love me, cause I don't think I love me anymore. Maybe I think too much, so I drink to rush all my demons out the door. Tell me that it's all inside my head. Call it OCD, tell me it's you, not me, cause it's driving me mad. I don't think I'm losing my mind. Building all these walls over time. Every time I lose my way, I find you. I know that when fears start to hit me, know that you're the one to lift me. I find you. Yeah, I'll find you. Yeah, I'll find you. Find me. Did I lose myself in pride? My insecurities haunting my memories, cause I'm holding them inside. Let go, put my thoughts back into words. Feels like I let me down, ain't got no golden crown. I'm just trying to be right. I don't think I'm losing my mind. Building all these walls over time. Every time I lose my way, I find you. I know that when fears start to hit me, know that you're the one to lift me. I find you. Yeah, I'll find you. Yeah, I'll find you. Every time I lose my way, I find you. I know that when fears start to hit me, know that you're the one to lift me. I find you.
Should I go teleport? Should I go teleport or?
Alrighty, everyone. We are getting ready here for week activation. Week 1 of activation? Activation in the NECC, where basically we get to figure out where we're going to get placed in the regular season. I am Coach Ryan Hines, and I am joined by the Iron Praetor as we get started with this first game of Concordia University up against Morris. Morris something. Of course, I'm going to forget it. Sorry, Murray State Gold. There's no Morris involved in that. How are you doing today, Josh?
I'm busy trying not to laugh at Twitch chat. I'm doing okay, you know, just trying to rest and recover. It's been a long week, been a long month for me.
Listen, it's been a long 2 years for all of us, so we out here surviving.
Oh my. I can't have chat open right now. I'm not going to be able to stop laughing.
All right, well, hey, let's talk about some League of Legends since we got like a minute and a half here to just kind of shoot the breeze. We're going to see Concordia University coming out with the Teemo up in top for El Gringazo. You've got Scion being played in the jungle by Mr. Boogie Woogie. In the mid lane, we'll have Pantheon being played by the Bug. And down in our bot lane duo, Ash Leona played as Beastin and Sands of Time. Over on the Murray's side, it's going to be Yorick, played by Flumperton, Kane by Applebee's Vivo, Cassiopeia, played by King Crow? Syncro. I don't. That's something. And Jin and Nico duo, played by Sean the Sentinel and Cheesy Cheese Puff. I hope that Cheesy Cheese Puff does something kind of incredible so I can shout that during this game. What are your thoughts, Josh?
My thoughts are Cheesy Cheese Puff just incited me to order DoorDash.
Cheesy Cheese Puff, please. I just need some more of those cheese puffs. But yeah, hey.
I don't have a problem. You have a problem.
We're here. This is the beginning. This is this is activation week. So the week of activation is basically where all of the teams play to get figured out which divisions they're going to be a part of. So these games matter in your placements a little bit. Basically, teams are placed off of what their average rank is, and activation gives them a chance to do two things. First off, it's a little bit of practice before the season starts, get some things worked out, have some actual competitions. Second off, if you do really well in activation, there's a chance that you could be boosted up, or if you don't do well, boosted down in one of the divisions. So it kind of helps a little bit, if you have a team that, maybe is like really spectacular and able to kind of pull themselves, like go 4-0 in activation, proving that they are, a really good squad. So it has its perks to it. That's kind of the basic of that. But yeah, so for the most part, we'll see teams kind of coming out with maybe a little bit of experimental strategy, especially on the CUNE side, where we lost two of our players over the winter break. One of them due to literally green card issues, wasn't able to come back from Poland. So, there's a little bit of that involved. So we kind of get to see what a new squad for Concordia looks like.
Indeed. And we'll just have to see exactly how they shape up. Very interesting picks around the board. Always excited to see a good Ashe. Always excited to see Leona. Silent Jungle is something I've thought of doing in a... Good grief. Excuse me. Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
No, you're fine. Yeah, the Scion Jungle is something that actually we've seen a lot of people using, and we're going to see Mr. Boogie Woogie getting in trouble here a little early. He's maybe going to get away. Doesn't have to expend his flash, which is very good. But he went for a little bit of deep vision and kind of got punished for it. So we're going to see now that he's going to have to back. Well, he might actually be able to do this first camp. He's used a health pot. One of the things you do with Scion Jungle anyways is sometimes you'll just die to your first camp. And, you'll be able to use your passive. So that doesn't necessarily hurt. He's going to get a very good leash, though, from Sands of Time and Beastin. And he ends up smiting that, obviously, because, low on health anyway. And we'll have El Green Gazo up here in the top lane, continuing on the tradition that good old Lego Grainer left us with top lane Teemo action.
You got to start the season off right, It's very important to get a very good starting, unbiased, set of stats.
Oh my gosh! And this is going to be absolutely terrible. The last tick gets first blood. First blood going over to the Bug with that level 2 power spike on this Pantheon.
Not respecting the level 2 power spike and trading potential from that Pantheon. Obviously costing Cassiopeia her life there. So that's exactly where you want to be starting out with your Pantheon.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a lane that, it somewhat favors the Pantheon because of that early level aggression he can get. And not to mention, it just does very good other things for him. But we're going to kind of skip that for a second because El Gigazo's getting ganked here in the top. Meanwhile, bot lane, there's also another gank going on. The root will come through, but that Jhin is going to stay safe. He does have to expel his flash. So that is used. The Bug showing up here. And oh my gosh, he might end up getting Cheesy Puff. He doesn't have, of course, the Ignite. He's already used that, so he won't be able to get that kill. But a very early roam. We're going to see a lot of damage coming through. Obviously, this Jhin packs a punch. I mean, early game power. But no, as I was kind of saying before, that in the mid lane, the Bug, he's really looking to do two things. First off, sort of win that lane, push up and be the pressure in that area, and then use that pressure, as he just did, to go to other lanes.
Definitely. And Pantheon's really good at being able to do that. Sentinel getting caught.
Yeah, Sentinel's going to get caught out here, and that will be him going down. The route onto Beaston will happen, and he'll actually expend heal. But that's going to be really good news for Concordia fans, because the bot lane is going to be having that aggression and starting to win that lane.
Yeah, Pantheon, obviously, with his semi-global ultimate, really able, post-level 6, able to impact the map heavily. Really just, wow.
Yeah, he's just having a good time there because, yes, sure, this Cassiopeia does have that wicked, ability on her Qs to just shred down tanks, but he is just able to, first off, he avoided the damage wonderfully, from the first part of her attack by jumping over it, literally, then hitting her with a stun, doing massive amounts of damage, and sure, she was able to get him really low, but it was like just a matter of seconds until a cooldown came off from the Pantheon to mean her death. Meanwhile, top lane, El Gregazo is keeping this guy under turret. He is also double his CS now at this point, 30 to 15. Flumperton cannot get good farm off under this turret. He's lost 2 minions now. He just got 1 out of an entire wave. Two. He got 2 now out of that entire wave.
Yep. And that's exactly what you want to do is Teemo, being the ranged top lane. You just want to keep pressuring, poking your enemy laner off of their wave, pushing them up under turret, because it's very hard for them to answer as long as you play it properly and you don't accidentally take tower aggro. Later on, Teemo can fall off a little bit, depending on obviously who you're playing up against. I feel like Yorick scales decently well into the mid and late game, so Teemo may struggle later on, but right now, as long as he doesn't get ganked too often.
Yeah, he's getting ganked here, but we will see the counter gank coming through. I don't think it's going to do anything, though, as once again, the Bug just having his way in the mid lane. As the reason I say that this gank by Mr. Boogie Woogie won't do much, he doesn't have his ult, so he wasn't able to get in there quickly to save El Green Gonzo in any meaningful way. So we'll see if that changes once Mr. Boogie Woogie hits level 6 on this Scion and he's able to get in there faster, but for now it's going to be just a casual, well, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, that's the one problem with Scion when you're ganking a lane that doesn't really have any of their own CC prior to you getting your level 6, or depending on your itemization prior to getting your chem tank or anything like that to kind of really get you in there, because you're stationary while you're charging your Q, and obviously your only other real CC as Scion is your ultimate, and so ganking something like Teemo, unless the enemy laner is just egregiously overextended, probably not going to work out the best for you. It's good to maybe try and apply pressure, keep the pressure off your top laner who's really punishing the other top laner. But if you're looking for kills and gold and maybe better map pressure, might be better to take it bot where you've got the hard engage with the Leona, right? Or the mid, who's already snowballing by himself and doesn't really need any help.
Yeah. We're going to see kind of a gank happening. Obviously, the Kayn was waiting here, but that is going to be Mr. Boogie Woogie actually finding him first, but Sentinel is just so far out of the way that Sands of Time and Beaston both able to get in there. That's going to be Sands of Time going really low. He will fall, but that's going to be a 2-for-1 in the bot lane, favoring CUNE.
Really fun interaction to see there with the obviously the Leona route followed up by the Scion knockup. You just kind of sit there once you get grabbed by Leona and have to wait out the charge as Scion's just like
Did you just see that? It was
Yeah.
a car accident coming through right into the front, just right through the mid lane. Just beep beep, I'm coming through, and that's going to be Scion picking up another kill for himself. But yes, I agree that, it was really interesting to see that, even though the Kane saw Mr. Boogie, saw Scion coming in, they didn't react to it. Instead, Sean, on that Jhin, he just kind of goes, oh, I'm just going to, bully out, the sands of time. But that's a Leona. Leona's going to stun you. And then your support and your jungler are both dealing with the other jungler while their AD and support are dealing with you. So not a good fight there by them, as they could have had the advantage against Scion and just sort of pinched on him.
Yeah, definitely. And I think now we're kind of seeing a little bit of the strength of the York starting to show through, and that Gringazzo trying to push Flumperton up under their turret, actually taking a decent chunk to his own health bar in return from the York's ability to throw up, I forget what the ability is called, but throwing up his AoE wall, and then being able to harass you with his ghost. And Bug, ooh.
Bug getting a little bit of death thrown at him there, as he wasn't able, as the gank there by the Kane led to him just falling. I mean, yeah, that's going to happen. He's able to go in aggressive and win that against the Cassiopeia, but once it becomes a 2v1 that you don't know about, then you start to have problems. We will see Mr. Boogie Woogie, though, going aggressive because, he can. He's already, full health, and she is not. Now, she does have the ability to take down tanks. She's not able to get any auto attacks off on him, though, so that will end up being her demise. Good job by Mr. Boogie Woogie to realize that he's able to just go in fully and finish her off. She didn't just have the health to deal with him or the time to, put down the damage. She didn't have her ultimate either, so definitely advantage towards him. And
yeah, I think it's still a little early in the game for Cassiopeia to really start showing her power. She does have Conquerors, which helps give some healing back, and I believe her E at some point they changed to also give a little bit of health back on. Ooh, good
big stun
engage
down here in the bot lane. A great engage. They actually get the kill. Scion is also coming down here, as there is Kane, so they're going to have to focus on the Kane. Sands of Time is going to run very low. Beast in here, though, putting out the damage. Applebee's is going to fall, because we all know that it's way better at Sonic. So now we're going to see that the 2-for-none exchange, and that is also Sands of Time able to get away. The Bug here in the mid lane attacking. He's able to throw up a lot of damage. Can he get the kill? He can. And that's going to be across the map. 3 kills in favor of Concordia University. They're starting to win these lanes.
I just want to make the statement that Iron Praetor Incorporated is not associated in any way or any standing with Sonic. But
okay,
could be.
We could
for the right price.
Listen, Concordia University and the Iron Praetor are both looking for sponsorships. If Sonic is watching this, we want Sonic sponsorship. I could definitely go for everything. Everything Sonic does is decent. It's all good. We'll talk. If we talk about him enough, it'll come true, right? As I cry into my. No, it probably won't. But either way, Concordia looking pretty strong across the board. They're winning these fights. They're up 11 kills to 4. And I'm more or less excited to see this turn into a more objective base game. Obviously, after that last one, Concordia was able to pick up the Windrake. And we will be seeing, if I can just get there quickly, it will be a Mountain Drake coming up next. So I want to see Concordia be able to, as last semester, they would win lane, and then they just couldn't group up, it felt like, to get it all together and start taking objectives across the map. So I really want to see if they're able to do that, communicate with each other, and turn the winning lanes into a winning game by, finishing off objectives.
Yeah, definitely. And regardless of whatever point in the game you're at some point you do have to take objectives. You do have to take the enemy nexus to ultimately win the game. Gringazzo, I wouldn't come over here.
Yeah, El Gringazzo is going to find himself in a weird position. He does use his his flash, and he doesn't end up getting out of that. That's going to be Boogie Woogie and the Bug in a 2v3. Now, here comes Mr. Boogie Woogie with his passive, so he's going to be able to do some damage here. They're all generally low, but I don't think that that's going to be a win by Concordia. And so they're going to back out. Yeah, El Gringazzo coming into this fight sort of wasn't... I think he just wasn't expecting, Flumperton to kind of be there that soon, but that will be a Rift Herald going over to Murray State.
Yeah, good communication on MSU to just kind of collapse on that and punish Gringazzo for showing his face there. But yeah, at any point in the game, at some point you do have to obviously start taking objectives and pushing the game forward. What's going to be interesting, as always, I think is going to be the scaling of these two teams. I feel like Pantheon is very strong early to mid game. Ash is decently strong overall, but I think she has her biggest spikes mid game. Sion becomes really tanky going to late game. Teemo, I think, falls off. The Yorick scales well into the mid to late game. Cassiopeia scales very well. Jhin kind of falls off. Personally, I feel like, but I'm also not a very good Jhin player, so it's going to be interesting to see how the potential power dichotomy can shift as the games go on, and maybe as objective bounties and other things come into play. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, Boogie Woogie gonna find that that's kind of a hard person to get if you don't hit him immediately. Obviously, you know, very good at taking out tanks, so she shouldn't have much of an issue in that 1v1 if he misses his skill shots and she hits hers. We'll see her Bug going in, but that's gonna be Applebee's once again showing up. And it's a lot of damage. The Bug does expend his flash. That's going to be, ooh, wow, a lot of damage going on to Beastin. He will be able to get out of the way of that stun, though, as we now smack back to the mid lane, or at the top lane. Flumperton up here, going to fight Boogie Woogie, that he will have the help from his ultimate, but El Gringazzo also just going to chase and chase and chase and chase. He's got the upgraded boots, so he can just continue to chase. And Flumperton just running for his life. Does put that down. Will the Bug be able to get up here and do the damage? He does get a lot of damage off, and she will be ignited even, so there is the kill. The Bug having an absolute heyday with his Cassiopeia in the mid lane. Meanwhile, top lane will have Mr. Boogie Woogie going down. Applebee's gank up there is successful. And it's going to start, as you were sort of saying, there's a lot of scaling on the side of MSU. And so we really have to see just kind of how it shapes up coming into a later game. Also, you know, if MSU does with this better scaling find the rotations onto these objectives better, you know, that only benefits them as well. So
yeah,
curious,
definitely.
especially with the next Drake coming up here in about less than a minute.
Teemo, obviously, with his mushrooms, can provide a interesting amount of objective control, but a couple of sweepers, pink wards, etc., can help clean that up pretty reasonably. So I feel like the Teemo is just slowly going to fall off because, I mean, who on the enemy team is he really going to blind to get good effectiveness? Jhin? Okay, but Jhin auto attacks once every quarter of a year, so the blind wears off, you've only missed one auto attack as opposed to like a Jinx who attacks 85 times in a second, and you know your DPS goes from full DPS to negative DPS, where the enemy is actually healing off of you attacking them. You know, it's just
Yeah.
I feel like the Teemo is great for a meme, is really gonna hurt them late game if the game takes too long to end.
You know, we'll have to see how this team fight's coming out here, because everybody is showing up. That's going to be a double kill going over, or sorry, 2 kills going over to Concordia, and that will be the ultimate coming out of this mid laner, and she does end up going down, as it will be a 3-for-2 exchange. The Cassiopeia getting quite a bit of value there, the double kill with her ultimate, in the end, favoring Concordia, especially since they will be getting this second Drake for themselves. So I would say before it was kind of a net even, just because, you know, they're not finding much value out of 2 kills, but to 3. But with this dragon, that nets them a pretty positive win.
Yeah, definitely. They're stacking advantages in their favor, which is always good, regardless of any point in the game. They've still got plenty of kills that they're pretty decently ahead. They are surprisingly a little bit behind in gold, and It looks like it's probably mostly from New York.
Yeah, that
Just
100,
with,
140 CS. He did take first turret in the top lane. So, yeah, he's got a lot of gold in his pocket. It's kind of sped him up, especially since he hit level 6, you know, able to have a second damage source going on to Teemo. I mean, that's really what helped him to get his lane righted. You know, it wasn't like totally tipped and gone, but it did help right the ship a little bit in that whole scenario. We're gonna see Cheese Puff able to get a kill, but he will trade that for his life. El Green Gazo and the Bug are gonna be fighting against Applebee's and Flumperton. Flumperton goes really low. El Green Gazo is gonna be under turret with Applebee's. That it will be El Green Gazo going down, but of course Applebee's is just gonna take another turret shot. One too many turret shots will end up being his death. That is going to be Boogie Woogie trying to get as close as he can. He'll get a little bit of damage here onto this. Oh, right into the ultimate is the Bug. As he does get enough damage, but that won't be Mr. Boogie able to kill anybody, especially if he gets trapped by the wall. And it could have gone the other way, but WSU able to take it, or MSU able to take this in their favor. 3 kills to just the 1. And
Yeah,
get some
definitely,
top turret damage here, possibly even taking it down. So,
Yeah, just well played by all of them. Unfortunate when you Pantheon leap into the
right into
the Cassiopeia ult.
right into a Cassiopeia ult. That's I believe that's a feel bad moment right there. It's
That's I'm checking my notes. That is what we call a rough one, Bob.
He's not having a good day there, Jim. Got banished to the Shadow Realm.
No, Mordekaiser's not in this game.
Oh, darn. Well, anyways.
You
we
could have
will
picked
see.
it. You picked Teemo instead.
It's true. It's true. Mordekaiser was on the table. But we'll see how this shapes up, because right now, starting to go in favor of MSU. That's a really good kill down there. Also flashing out to avoid the death. That's going to be an Ashe basically getting caught out and totally dying. Applebee's is fighting against both Sands of Time and Boogie Woogie, but the 3-man squad from MSU is able to win that, and they put their pressure now onto the mid lane. Flumperton coming in from the top lane was able to win that, and so now they push mid. So yeah, no, you know, after the initial loss, I guess, from them for the most part, we got more team fights all over the place here. So more fighting up here. Boogie Woogie and El Green Gazo trying to make sure this turret doesn't fall as they wait for their AD and support to get back up here. He is able to ult, and that's going to have to be a flash, which was a very smart flash there. That arrow going just to the left isn't going to be a great situation, and Boogie Woogie will chase, but ultimately, he's dead.
I've never done it before, but I do know that there is a Scion build that involves Prowler's Claw.
Oh, yes, there is.
It's
There
basically
definitely
the
is.
int hard into the enemy team Scion,
Yes.
and then do all your damage after death.
Yes, I do know of this. You know this move. I have heard of that and seen like the meme video compilations of like, all you do is int, and then you get a penta, and it's like, ah, cool, yes. That would
Well,
never work.
you've seen, because have I had Scion and ARAM before with you?
Probably.
Because I usually just go attack speed Scion because, like people say,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Scion's passive, you print health. You kill stuff, you print health, and so you're tanky regardless. So why not just build attack speed and damage and just go deep? And so that's what I do when I play ARAM with Scion, and I don't always win, but boy is it fun.
Anyways, we see MSU starting to get back on their feet and starting to win this game. Yeah, no, that's not going to go well for you there, Teemo. All she has to do is hit one ability, and then her Qs automatically hit you. So, yeah, that's not going to work if you're half health. But, you know, as you said, the scaling is now starting to come in. You know, we're hitting the 23-minute mark. Scaling's going to start happening, especially if, the gold is going okay, which right now especially for the mid laner of MSU, it's starting to look better. Before it was a little rough, especially when the bug was kind of just winning that matchup. Now the Cassiopeia is starting to get you have 2 items, you're starting to feel better. And then, in the top lane, he's 4-0, 4-0-8. He's just been survived top lane, and not only that, done really well to push it, and the Teemo has not been able to, wasn't able to get any kill pressure, I think, is the biggest problem up there. And so he hasn't been able to win it. It's just been, it's stale, and when it's stale, it goes to the tank, so obviously that's where you're going to see, not Urgot, gee, Merry Christmas, Yorick, just able to find his victory there. So
yeah, definitely.
Bot lane, it was kind of a crapshoot, and honestly, at this point, the Jhin is going to have more value, just because with more damage. But I mean, they're both just on like their first item, so it's like there's not a lot coming out of the bot lane. It kind of got crapped on early, so we'll just have to see what happens. Though I say that, and of course he, Sentinel runs in and gets everything he needs. This team fight going on here. Frumpton is going to try and flash onto the Ashe. He does get it. In the top lane, we'll have the 1v1 that is going to go in favor of Applebee's, and the rest of the team fight for MSU also going in favor of MSU. So,
hey, but Boogie getting the shutdown.
He did find the shutdown, but that's some pretty big timers. I'm thinking this is at least 1 or 2 Nexus turrets, possibly. Yeah, it would kind of depend. I think they for sure get 1. We'll see what happens, but I would almost guess yes.
Yeah, I thought they might try to rotate up to the top inhib turret, because I saw Kane coming down, but he didn't push the wave. He went into the jungle, so...
Yeah, Teemo getting caught there. A lot of damage, of course, between the two of those onto a squishy Teemo target. Especially if he
Teemo
decides
just keeps forgetting that snakes eat rats, so,
He's not a rat. He's a Yordle.
Close enough, dude. Have you looked at him?
Listen. He looks more like a mouse. He's not a rat. Twitch is a rat, all right? If we're just gonna talk about League of Legends characters now, Twitch is a rat.
Yeah.
He is the rattiest rat that ever ratted in Ratterton, even though he's from Zon.
Ratatouille. He's a delicious dish.
That's like his. It's like his. I don't.
Yeah, I think.
I'll
the
tell you
Teemo
that
top
joke
lane,
later. Go on.
I think the Teemo top lane pressure tends to work really well. Like you said, if you can get that pressure against the enemy laner, and if you're able to get kills, then your strength in that pressure lasts longer. But if you're not able to get kills, then, like we saw, it tends to just kind of fall off early, and then the other laner outscales you. A little miscommunication here. And
Yeah, communication. Sands of Time went to Applebee's, but everybody else went to Sonic, and this is not going to be a great team fight, as that's going to be Cheese Puff able to take one of the kills. And meanwhile, Sean the Sentinel will get the second one, and Mr. Boogie Woogie will go down. You got to communicate where you're going to eat, or people are going to wind up at the wrong restaurant. El Green Gazzo, meanwhile, going to get destroyed as Applebee's comes to him. And we will see this probably being the last push for MSU, as their entire team is up, and there is only a bug and a beast sitting in the back, just waiting to see what happens. This will be the last fight. In goes the bug. Splat on the windshield. There he is. Sands of Time also fighting. There's just fights everywhere, but that is the end of this game. So, we have Concordia University up against MSU. They will lose this first game. It was looking very promising at the start, but ends up falling. They end up falling here in this first game. So, we will just take a quick look at the end scores here and a little bit of damage, because I'd like to know that, obviously, just good information. That Cassiopeia, like you said, and the Yorick just starting to come online in the later part of the game. They were able to weather the storm. The bug was able to get a lot of damage down, and he was trying to get it out of his lane, to try to help the other lanes, but man, just wasn't having a good time, especially with, the Kayn kind of helping to shut that down a little bit. And the cane working across the map, you know, really it was just a very close game all around. I think it just came down to some scaling in later parts of the game.
Yeah, I think some of it definitely was scaling. Kane being able to get the gold top and then translate that around the map. Bug did try to go bot. I didn't keep track of whether Bug took those kills when he arrived or if he tried to feed them into the ADC, because that's the thing. You have your gold, and if you get more, yeah, you're going to snowball more. But if you give more to the person who's going to carry you mid game, late game, then that's ultimately your win condition, right? But at the end of the day, you know, I think both teams played very admirably. Always stuff that can be improved regardless. So it was very enjoyable to watch.
Absolutely. So now we will have a little bit of a break. At around 7:30 is our next match, so it'll be a pretty long pause here. But at 7:30 we'll have our next match. It's against Western Colorado University. So that'll be coming up here at 7:30. We will be back in just a bit.
I've been having real bad thoughts. If I could turn it off, maybe that'd make it stop, And all of the bad times, yeah, they've been adding up. Looking for lifelines, but I'm sinking fast enough. Nothing can save it, look at the damage done, I wish I knew how to fix it. I'm not sure how to fix it. It's all my fault and I don't know how it ended like this. 'Cause I've broken a promise, I fractured what was flawless, and I don't know how to fix it. And I don't know how to fix it. Is it even what I want? Maybe all that I lost had to be so I know what I got. And all of the bad times, yeah, they've been adding up. I don't know why, but I think I've had enough. I know it's too late to get back to what it was, I knew how to fix it. I'm not sure how to fix it. It's all my fault and I don't know how it ended like this. 'Cause I've broken a promise, I fractured what was flawless, and I don't know how to fix it. And I don't know how to fix it. Way too many faces in the crowd, but I think that I see you. One too many days got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move. to pretending like I never met you. No, it's all for the best, cause I know we're a mess every time we're together. Going out of my mind, and I wish I could lie, tell you that it gets better. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months where I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. I can't seem to move. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I remember when the bartender said it's on the house. You make me wanna fall in love. The weather felt better when we were in it together. Oh, I miss the way we used to talk about nothing. I hate to say I should have seen it coming. Last summer, everything was easy. We had it all, didn't we, babe? But no wonder you couldn't keep it. It got harder than you thought it would be. You stopped loving me on the dark nights. Now you won't kiss me in the sunlight. Last summer, I know you'll leave me. 'Cause loving me is the big thing. Cause loving me is the big thing. Cause loving me is the big thing. If you wanted to talk, you would've texted. If I wanted to stop, I would've let it go. But I get it, it's alright. 'Cause I can't keep my shit together. Say fuck it, you can't debate that. Don't want shit to get better, 'cause it made me forget it all and I hate that. Last summer, everything was easy. We had it all, didn't we, babe? But no wonder you couldn't keep it. It got harder than you thought it would be. You stopped loving me on the dark nights. Now you won't kiss me in the sunlight. Last summer, I know you'll leave me. 'Cause loving me is the big thing. Cause loving me is the big thing. Cause loving me is the big thing.
In my head like a melody, laying back in this bed, playing back what you said, and it's not really helping me. Coming down from this high is a dangerous ride. I'm coasting, out of body floating, lost in my emotions. I've been spinning just 빠지게 돼 I don't care 모든 것을 대해 전부 있게 돼 And I just want you right here with me 끝이 없이 우린 floating Lost in your deep oceans 깊이 스며가 slowly Tryna keep my head above water Then you go and pull me under Crazy thing I know I'm down for Stuck in this state of wonder Stuck in this state of wonder
This is what you made of love. The words are spoken, my heart is broken, keeping me tangled up in you. But I've had enough, and I won't keep coming undone. 'Cause it's not over. I fought too hard to lose. I feel your pressure. Don't care if I'm getting bruised. It makes me stronger. I'm here to dominate. I won't surrender. Now hear me only wanted you to hear my sound. Battle is rough when it hit you all around. My feet were too high off the ground, and it's a long way down, a long way down. But I've had enough, and I won't keep coming undone. But I've had enough, and I won't keep coming undone. 'Cause it's not over. I fought too hard to lose. I feel your pressure. Don't care if I'm getting bruised. It makes me stronger. I'm here to dominate. I won't surrender. Now hear me
So I go.
You don't have to. No, you don't have to say those words again. Oh no. And you don't have to. No, you don't have to go and explain yourself. 'Cause I ain't gonna listen. Yeah, all you wanted was a souvenir to remember it all. Yeah, you tore it apart, down to every last piece You don't have to go and explain yourself, 'cause I ain't gonna listen. Yeah, all you wanted was a souvenir to remember the fall. To go and tell your friends you were there for it all. A souvenir, just a little postcard for the road. And I just gotta know how to find happiness in the wrong place. 'Cause it never ends, it's there in always. It's evident you never changed for our sake. Baby, I can't you see we're falling now. Your little black book ran out of pages. If you're gonna take it all, then baby, don't waste it. You only want it if you know you're gonna break it. Just another souvenir for the taking. Just take it. Baby, just take it. Just another souvenir for the road. That's the way it goes. Just take it. Baby, just take it.
All right. This is Concordia University's Twitch channel, and we are streaming to you tonight our second game of the evening in the NECC Activation Week 1. We are here to play this game against Western Colorado University, or WCU, as I'll probably be referring to them the rest of the play. We're here to see this lineup of what is honestly 100% a meme team. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, Josh, but it's actually not a Yasuo Lux bot lane. It is actually a Yone Yasuo bot lane. They just screwed up where they chose their characters. So, technically that's not correct, and we could get in trouble for that. So we'll see if they call us out on it or if they just think it's whatever. We'll just find out. We screwed that up. We should have fixed it before the draft started, but we forgot. So anyways, Josh, what are you thinking over there, buddy? Pal?
I'm thinking you have a lot of melee champions against Agragas.
There is a lot of melee champions against Agragas. You know, this is WCU was a team that we faced last semester. Honestly, they've been a real... I haven't been pleased with how things went down last semester with them. We'll put it that way. Not necessarily allowing for much competitive integrity between teams. It's the idea that I believe all teams should have a chance to try and scout out the other team, and they flat out just said no. And so they have all these really cheese pocket picks that they usually go to that you wouldn't know about, like the Aurelian Soul, Shen, Fiora, all this other stuff. But anyways, it doesn't matter, because this is Activation. Hopefully they get put up in the next division, because they are a pretty good team. They've got a lot of golds on their team, across their skills. So they're a good team, and hopefully we just don't see them in the regular season. But our team is just testing out and literally having some fun with this. We've got the Nautilus top with El Green Gazo. You got Mr. Boogie Woogie playing Wukong, the Bug on Yone, and he will be bot lane with Sands of Time on the Yasuo. And then you have in the mid lane Lux being played by Beaston. On the other side, we have Sir Patman playing Aurelia, E-Man playing Trundle, Star Wars Geek playing Gragas in the mid lane, and then Aphelios and Nautilus being played by Frozen H2O, and Whole Lotta Hook. And Whole Lotta Hook sticking to his name and playing a champion with a hook. As we wait for the spectator delay to be ready, and the game will start.
Whole lot of Hook and Frozen H2O I recognize.
Yeah, no, you should recognize them. You should recognize all of them, but I mean, we played this exact team last semester, and they had a pretty nasty comp. They played the Jinx, basically remember that the
I think
buffs came out for
Blitzcrank,
that.
and I think they took either Vi or Graves. And
Yes, I believe it was Graves because they just had a nasty Graves jungler. And then on top of that, Sir Patman was able to play his Shen one-trick pony, as well as I think we actually officially banned out the Aurelian Soul, but either way, it's still pretty nasty. So I'll be honest, the comps from both of these teams looks funky to me. You know, like the Gragas in the mid lane is really something I haven't seen in a long time. The bot lane looks pretty standard. Jungle and top are pretty okay as well. On the Concordia side, obviously, it's pretty whack. You know, just with everything going on there. It looks like there will be a invade going on here. And so we'll see how this goes down, as they're not going to see anything immediately. They just kind of get in there, get some information, and we'll back out with nothing else lost. So your thoughts on this match?
I think picking a bunch of melee champs into an AP Gragas is not going to end well.
Good call. So
that boy got a powerful tummy.
you do have the big gut and a very flat butt. That's just.
But we'll see. NASA's obviously huge scaling into the late game. Could be a problem against the Aurelia early, especially if he doesn't get any jungle attention. I feel like Aurelia played well early, would probably beat Nasus until he gets a decent couple of stacks under his belt. Oddly enough, you know, I'm neither for or against the Yone Yasuo. I've played against meme bot lanes in my time. A lot of them tend to be Yasuo focused, and you know, it can work.
Yeah, you know, it actually isn't terrible. They have to be pretty aggressive for it to really, you know, turn into any advantage for them, obviously. You know, especially against, you know, the Hook and, you know, the Aphelios. But, yeah, if they can turn it and be more aggressive, they'll have a really good time. It's interesting to see a team that we played last season and to see them in like the preseason of this season. We're gonna see Sands of Time taking a lot of damage, and he will be first blood going down to the Aphelios there. Interesting to see it, mostly because I think it's kind of cool whenever, you know, teams like mature in their champ pools or something. I don't think you would have seen Sir Patman on this. I don't think you would have seen him playing Aurelia last semester, and he is this one. The bot lane is kind of the same as what it was, and just getting demolished down there is Sands of Time and the Bug. I think we'll see.
Yeah,
more
bot
of that.
lane's pretty much the same as what we saw at the end of last semester, where it was a hook support and a power pick.
Right, and
You know, last time it was Jinx, this time it's Aphelios, who, fun fact, is second to Jinx, one of the top picked in the LCS for ADC positions.
Interesting. Yeah, so, you know, the Gragas in the mid lane is kind of interesting. Not a pick that I would have expected to see, but we'll see how it turns out. Obviously, against the Lux, it'll be, you know, we'll just have to see how it turns out. We will see the fight here as the Bug goes in and then all the way back out. That's the thing with Yone, just kind of runs in and it's like, yes. Neon's able to hop in there and then get the frick out. Frozen H2O flashing for this. We'll see what happens here. El Gringazo in the top lane also getting a fight. As in the mid lane, Mr. Boogie Woogie gets this gank. He does get ignited though. So he does end up dying there to Star Wars Geek. Meanwhile, in the top, the gank from E-Man doesn't seem to be doing anything, paying out yet. Beastin in the mid lane, very low on mana, so he's got to be sort of careful with what he's committing to. El Gringazo does get stuck here.
Oh my
Past the
gosh,
flash,
that pillar placement.
Pillar placement was actually very well done. Definitely, like, oh golly, yeah. In the mid lane, Star Wars Geek taking a lot of poke damage from Beastin, but unfortunately Beastin won't really be able to get the finish kill simply because he just has no mana. It's like he could probably get it, but we're gonna see a whole lot of hook coming in. He doesn't time or place the hook quite correctly, so he doesn't end up getting the grab onto Beaston, so he'll stay safe for now. They will be pinging onto the dragon, and it will be spawning here. Well, it's already spawned just now here at 5 minutes, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, for the most part, this will be just kind of an interesting game to see how it turns out going into the later part of the game, as Trundle coming down now. Gets on to Sands of Time. That will be Sands of Time going in. Windwall comes up to stop some of the damage coming through as Boogie Woogie also shows up. You grab onto the bug, and they're trying to fight it out. Sands of Time goes down. There is an Ignite going down as well there, and that's a root, as Beaston does actually get the trade kill in the mid lane. Just not a super smart, I mean, a smart dive, I guess, since he got the kill, but yet it's like, you knew you were going to trade it back because it's a Lux under turret. What do you expect? But yeah, how was your winter break? Is that what we're going to talk about during this meme game? It's going down.
I mean, you got me casting a meme game.
I
so,
do. I understand that, and so it's like, all right.
This is. you want to know a fun fact?
Yes.
The past 3 games we've casted together have been meme games because you ended the semester with a meme game. You started the semester with a meme game.
So the last game was
and
actually.
This is a meme game.
This is a meme game. The last game was actually semi-decent. It just didn't.
You had
end.
Teemo. As soon as you put Teemo in, it's a meme game.
Teemo can be a meme and yet also not a meme. It's possible. This, however,
we should
is
at least done a
deep,
meme that was like
deep fake meme game here being played.
A practiced meme game, like, oh yeah, we did this in scrims.
Yeah, no, we didn't do any of this in scrims. There's yeah. Lots of damage going down from Beaston onto Star Wars Geek, but nah, it's just kind of a meme game, just to get the season started. A lot of it too is just that actually the team just needs to have some fun together, and like we haven't had many official team practices just because of everybody's scheduling and the resurgence of COVID on campus. So it's like we've had a lot of inconsistency. Like Beaston's not going to be our main AD carry throughout the season. It's actually going to be this other gal, and she can't be here because of COVID. So it's like, all right, cool, you're in there, Beaston. Let's go. You know, it's kind of just a mess to the start of our season, anyways. That these games, obviously, it's activation. I expected this game to go kind of how it's going. The earlier game was the good one. That was the good game to watch. That had, you know, sort of the back and forth strategy that should happen in any decent League of Legends game. But this one's a little bit more like, yeah, it's gonna be the rough one. But yeah, no. So that's kind of the situation we have.
It's okay. You scale that game.
It's true.
Ooh,
that was a really good cask there.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know how he didn't get more out of it. We will see El Gringazo going to be ganked up here, and there's just so much damage onto him. Sir Patman gets out and then goes right back in to find that win there. Meanwhile, mid lane is starting to see quite a bit more CS advantage. CS advantage also in the top lane. And, of course, definitely one down bot, but it's kind of like, yes, it's two melee ADs trying to, you know, battle it out.
Wow, and nobody went Relic Shield. I am just, as a support, I'm disappointed.
Nobody goes support items. You know, who needs?
See, there's your
support
problem
items?
right there. That's the that's the big problem. The Yasuo, the Yone, I can get behind that. But the moment you skip your support item,
so who's the support in that lineup? Which brother takes the bottom? You know, like, yes, I am the support now. Swole.
I would hazard a guess at Yone.
I'd just like to put out there that was the
But again, I don't I don't main this bot lane, so you know.
Sands of Time picking up a kill for himself with that nice gank from Mr. Boogie Woogie. Coming in on the I mean, what is that? What is Wukong's ultimate called? What's it called? It's called Cyclone.
Broken.
Broken. It's called Cyclone, and you can use it twice. Something they did a long time ago, and nobody cared because he's still not relevant. Which is kind of funny. I think we saw him a couple games after his like buff, and then after that it proceeded to be like, he's still garbage. But I don't know, because I still get my ass handed to me by it, but it's still like, yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, if you want a strong team fight ultimate, and if you've got, like, a wombo combo like J4 or, you know, something else, definitely, obviously, very strong with the buff to be able to cast it twice. But, depending on where you're playing, you know, you might see that more professionally, but at the same time, you could also see split push comps. And, you know, if you're split pushing, then what does a Wukong do? You get a 1v1 and gets knocked somebody up twice, and, I mean, Wukong does decent damage, but it's, you know, I don't know. It's definitely very interesting. And the thing is, this is a big meme comp, but, like, if you watch this damage here, like, they're behind, but Yasuo and Yone still do damage. They're taking a butt ton of damage. But, like, if they could actually get any amount of gold, you know, Wukong's going to scale up, Nasus is going to scale up, you're going to have two very powerful ADCs with multiple knockups, you're going to have Lux with your AP. So, technically, if they could survive and get some gold, there's always the possibility that this could turn into an interesting game. But you could also just have Lux get caught and die.
That's true, yeah. I think the issue will be that there just isn't going to be enough gold to go to the Concordia team, mostly because Western Colorado is a higher, better team, I guess I say. Elgreen Gaza, though, might chase down Sir Patman. It's going to be a lot of damage, and he's not going to get enough lifesteal there to get it back. But yeah, it would be like if the game went way longer, the possibility would exist. That's a nice 3-man ultimate, but he just gets stunned out of it, so it's not like you can't really do anything there. Star Wars Geek runs in, gets that nice touch there. But once again, a lot of melee into more melee and not a lot of damage. So even with the turret advantage, they're able to just get 2 kills or 1 kill at least, and almost a second. But yeah, no. Second Drake, or sorry, the Soul Drake is Ocean. So we'll see that coming up. You know, because that's interesting. But besides that, kind of a focus of the Concordia season will be on trying to, first off, I mean, we lost a top laner and support over the winter break. So trying to fill those roles back in and make sure that, you know, we can get the team back into a position of having a full-on roster, especially since, you know, the AD carry that was going to be playing is on COVID leave, so just kind of waiting for that to be done this Sunday. And then finally we'll have what I would consider our actual squad doing anything. Yone just going in and getting deleted. Frozen HQ able to stay away from the damage there. Sands of Time getting destroyed. But at this point, you can see that between the Yone and Yasuo, they both have 1 kill. And E-Man actually does get traded there for the Lux. But yeah, no, it's just going to be kind of an interesting season to see how it unfolds, because it's hard to try and, you know, throw a team together, like have a team that hasn't played together and then turn around the next season and go, oh yes, another team that hasn't played together, you know. We'll see here. Mr. Boogie Woogie trying to survive under turret. Whole lot of hook will die. Boogie Woogie also will die, and Frozen HQ takes a lot of damage there from the turret, but gets away with just enough to be able to run a little over 100 health. Beyond that, we'll just see that it's like a 30, like about a little over a 13K gold lead at this point. The 20,000 now to the 13 or the 33 of Western Colorado. So just sort of watch as the rest of this game unfolds. They should just they'll farm up a little bit. Probably, I would assume they go for the next objective of the Rift Herald, but I'm not sure. I feel like they're rotating there now as I say it. It was kind of like, what else do they do at this moment? And it was like, Rift Herald's up. Well, let's go get that, yeah. The next Drake should be up in less than a minute, so that is an opportunity as well. We'll see Sands of Time and the Bug coming here to hide. Frozen H2O does get one kill, and he does get a double kill literally by himself against the Yon Yasuo. I think the issue there was that Yon literally was able to get in there so much faster than Yasuo. It was like a extended 1v1, and that was it.
Well, and Frozen had his flash. He flashed out of the
That's
Yon
true. He
ult,
did.
and so
flash
Yon
out
took a
of
butt
that.
ton of damage, got nothing from it, and then died. So
yeah, we'll see. They'll get the Rift, and this is a very unnecessary mid-hex flash thing, but it's just kind of them showing off at this point. Probably going to see what honestly would be like the last push here. Since they've got Rift, you know, basically have a lot of, you know, push potential here just to finish the game. We'll get this dragon. I don't think I've seen El Green Gonzo or Sir Patman leave this lane, honestly, the entire game. It's actually kind of funny to me that the rest of the game's been going on, and those two are just like, nah, we fine. We just appeared, boy. Just doing our thing.
people have visited their lanes, but
yeah, I think people have visited. I think maybe I know
they're waiting for warmer weather to go on vacation and visit other places.
Exactly.
You know? Is he gonna die to dragon?
He didn't. I was really hoping that he would.
He was low.
But he was very low. I don't know what. I think the Ocean Drake attacks the slowest, but does the most damage. Or does it attack the? I can't remember. There's something about each of the dragon's attack patterns, and I need to reread up on it because I forget just constantly. I'll like see it in game and be like, oh yeah, that's right. This dragon does like the fastest.
Mountain attacks the slowest, but does the most damage on hit. Ocean slows you on hit. Air attacks the fastest and has technically the most DPS, even though it does less on hit. Since it's getting more hits, it does more damage. So the hardest one to solo is always air.
And yeah, we'll see a team fight happen here. Obviously, there's just a ton of damage in what they've got. Moving forward, whole lot of hook does flash over there. This is we'll see what happens here as the team comes over to watch the end of this, as the game is over. Meanwhile, they'll be taking the top turret, not necessary. This teleport, literally about 6 feet away, doesn't even get the advantage of home guards, so, you know. Sir Patman taking a lot of damage there. Not gonna go down to that, of course. Sands of Time taking a ton of damage there. He will flash away. A lot of damage goes down, and that's going to be a stun, but nobody is able to kill Star Wars Geek. Oh, there we go. Finally gets the stack. Is El Green Gazo, but that's Oh, Frozen HQ also going to fall. But that will be the end of this game. So, with that being the end, League of Legends team will start off the season 0-2 to get going. But honestly, pretty decent game to start off the evening. This game, which we sort of predicted was going to go this way. And we'll just see how the rest of the season shapes up for the team. But yeah, no, hey, thank you, Josh, for helping me cast these games today. It'll get better as the season goes on, of course, because it'll be a little bit more serious. And we'll also be up against teams that are a little bit more our actual style. So I think Western Colorado is going to be a division up from us for sure. So I'm actually excited because there is, I believe Hastings College has a League of Legends team. And they're a college that's close to us and also in our GPAC, our athletic conference. And so we'll actually be looking forward to hopefully facing them sometime this season. That would be rather exciting. So thanks, Josh. Quick shout out to Josh, a.k.a. The Iron Praetor, twitch.tv. Check him out if you ever want to. And thanks for joining me.
Yep, no problem.
All right. We'll see you all next week on Monday when our Valorant teams try and finish out their activation season strong. So we'll see you then.